everyone, this is Karen.
I kissed a girl and I liked it. I'm Shane.
Today we're looking at part 1 of Katy Perry.
Life, love, and music.
And the vocabulary words are fan.
Fan.
Wendy is the band's biggest fan.
Melody.
Melody.
Seated at the piano, the man began to play a beautiful melody.
Pop.
Pop.
Jarvis grew up listening to pop music.
Religious.
Religious.
My parents are very religious, but I am not.
Really? Faith.
Faith.
Because of the way it handled the crisis, many people's faith in the government has been shaken. So we're talking about Katy Perry.
Yeah. So she's been around for quite a while.
I love Katy Perry. I love her music.
Yeah, it's quite uplifting.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Right?
a really good, description of her music.
Yeah, well, maybe that comes from her religious background and singing gospel music.
That's right.
Because when she was a kid, she sang gospel music in church, right?
Yes, and then I think because she grew up in a religious family, so she could only listen to Christian music. She couldn't
Right.
really listen to anything else. Until I remember she heard some pop music from her friend's CD.
Right. So she actually released an album that was all gospel music, but it didn't sell very well, like 200 copies.
That's right. So then I think that was the transition for her.
Yeah.
So she switched from, just singing like religious songs to pop music.
Like she moved to LA and
That's right.
decided to start singing pop music.
And she writes her own songs too.
Yeah, and so she was finally signed by a record company in 2007.
And the reason why we're talking about her is because she has a new album coming out.
Yeah, what's it called? Do you remember?
Is it Smile?
Smile.
I love it. I love it already.
Right? Because that's what she does. She makes you smile when you listen to her music.
I do love her music.
All right, let's learn more.
About Katy Perry.
I kissed the girl and I liked it.
Katy Perry, life, love, and music. What is Katy Perry most loved for? Her fans might find it hard to choose between her catchy melodies, her quirky style, or her colorful live performances. In any case, with the release of her 6th album, Smile, Perry continues to bring joy to the world. However, pop stardom was not handed to her.
Today's lesson is called Katy Perry, Life, Love, and Music. Part 1. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I'm Mike. And Katy Perry has been a fixture of the pop music scene for well over a decade now. A lot of people know her. They know her sort of candy-colored music videos, her very interesting fashions, and of course, she's a big-name celebrity, right? She's dated lots of famous people. She's done big shows. She played the Super Bowl a few years ago. So Katy Perry has been around for a while, and a lot of people would say that they're fans of her. She
love
even
her.
came to Taiwan a few years ago.
Yep, her fans love her.
Absolutely.
But here's the question. What is Katy Perry most loved for?
Good question. She's done so much and she's got so many different things that make her a unique and popular performer. So, what do her fans love her for, or what do they love her for the most, or what are some of the different things they love her for? Let's find out in our article. It says her fans might find it hard to choose between her catchy melodies, her quirky style, or her colorful live performances. If you asked a bunch of different fans, you'd get a bunch of different answers, but 3 things might stand out. Her catchy melodies, basically her music, her quirky style, her fashion choices, and her wonderful live performances, which of course are so colorful. This is
Dancing Sharks.
Dancing Sharks, absolutely. Everyone remembers that. That was the Super Bowl
It was.
too, wasn't it? Yeah, but a lot of her fans would know this stuff, and they would probably agree or pick one of these things as their favorite because fans really like someone. If you're a fan, you're a supporter. You like that person or that group or that thing. You might spend a a bit of your extra time and turn it into a hobby, kind of collecting things or going to the concerts or, going online and chatting with other fans. But basically, if you're a fan of someone, you identify with that. You've kind of made it part of your personality and you're proud to do it. You'll wear the t-shirt, you've got the hat, you've got the poster on the wall, you're a member of the Facebook group because you like that thing a whole lot. You're a big fan. For example, Wendy is the band's biggest fan. She has seen Mayday more than 20 times.
Anyways, here let's talk about music and melody. Sometimes you hear a song, okay? The part of that song that you remember is usually the melody of that song. When we're talking about a melody, though, let's be specific. We're talking about that part of a song that maybe you remember. That's quite pretty. Yeah, usually the word melody refers to pretty notes of music that are played together. Now, sometimes you will remember da 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 da. That would be the melody of Ode to Joy by Beethoven, and I'm sure he's rolling over in his grave right now based on my rendition. Anyways, for example, seated at the piano, the man began to play a beautiful melody.
Okay, so he's picking out the tune, he's giving us the part that we would sing or whistle or hum or something like that. All right, let's get back to Katy Perry. So, of course, her melody, her style, her great performances, all of that is very popular with her fans. It says then, in any case, no matter what you love about Katy Perry, in any case, with the release of her 6th album, Smile, Perry continues to bring joy to the world.
So there you go. She's on top of the world. But, however, pop stardom was not handed to her. She had to work for it big time. She even had to deal with dancing sharks.
That's true, she did.
They weren't real sharks, but
no.
They were not following instructions.
That's part of the life of being a pop star. Because if you're a pop star, if you do pop music, that means it's popular music. Another way we might call this is top 40 music, right? So it's the kind of music that goes up to the top of the charts. You hear it on the radio quite a lot. You might hear it in stores as you're shopping. You don't hear a lot of Mozart in stores or on the radio. You don't see Beethoven at the top of the pop charts or jazz music or heavy metal music. No, because pop music is popular music. It's music that appeals to a huge variety of people. It often has a catchy melody and a good beat. It's usually kind of up and, happy and energetic in some kind of way. And as I said, it's the stuff that most young people might listen to, and you'll certainly hear it on the radio more than many other styles of music. For example, Jarvis grew up listening to pop music. He started off with Britney Spears, and now he's a Katy Perry fan.
He's a Katy Perry fan.
And he likes
a natural progression.
That's right, yeah.
Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break. But don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这一次要介绍的名人大明星是 Katy Perry， 凯蒂佩瑞。她在流行音乐界10几年，累积了很多粉丝，大家都喜爱她。那么原因也许各有不同，有的人喜欢她一些朗朗上口的旋律啊，有的人喜欢她奇特的风格，或是喜欢她精彩的现场表演。不过她在流行音乐界的这个明星地位是得来不易的。好，文中用到 stardom， 就是在 star 后面加 dom 这个字可以表达明星地位、明星身份。那么 Mike 老师在开场的时候，他用到 celebrity， 则是指名人，这个字是拼作 celebrity。celebrity 它通常是指演艺界的名人或者是社交名流。好，那这边还有3个单字 fan 就是什么什么的迷或者是狂热爱好者，那它的复数 fans 我们常常把它音译成粉丝。再来看 melody 它表示旋律曲调。Jeff 老师刚刚有用到 rendition 这个字，它是拼作 rendition rendition 表示表演、演奏或是诠释。再来看 pop 可以形容流行相关的，也可以当名词来指流行。 那单字例句提到说 Jarvis 他听流行乐长大，老师们就在聊说他搞不好是从小甜甜布兰妮一路听到这个凯蒂佩瑞的音乐，这是个自然的发展过程。那这时候 Jeff 老师用到 progression 就是表达发展前进或是进展，这个字是拼作 progression progression。 好，那这边还有4个重点，第一个是句型 find 加受词加形容词，可以表达觉得某人或某事物怎么样怎么样，这时候 find 它是表达觉得认为。好，如果它的受词是不定词，也就是 to 加原形动词的话，我们要先用 it 来当虚受词，再把这个不定词移到受词补语形容词的后面，也就是移到形容词的后面，去形成说 find it形容词再加 to 加原形动词的句型。好，例如 Mark found it hard to live up to his parents' expectations. Mark 认为要达到他的父母期望是很难的。第二个重点 in any case 表示无论如何，不管怎么样。例如 I'm not sure how long the meeting will take, but I'll call you tonight in any case. 我不确定会议会开多久但不管怎么样，我今天晚上会打电话给你的。第3个重点 with 加名词，它是指有了什么，由于什么，是用来说明主词或是说明主要子句它所具备的条件啊，或是原因。像是 with consistent practice you'll become a better musician. 透过持续不断的练习，你会成为更优秀的音乐家哦。第4个重点，动词 continue 它是指继续，后面可以接不定词或动名词。例如 Jill picked up her book and continued reading. Jill 拿起书本继续阅读。接话课文中
Katy Perry, Life, Love, and Music. The 36-year-old American musician grew up in a religious family. She and her siblings weren't allowed to listen to non-Christian music at home, so Perry discovered pop music by listening to her friends' CDs. She began singing in church at the age of 9, and for her 13th birthday, she received her first guitar. Writing and performing her own songs, Perry began thinking about a career in music.
Okay, Katy Perry, that's who we are reading about today and tomorrow. Now, more on Katy Perry. She's on the top of the world right now as far as popular music is concerned, but it wasn't easy for her to get there, okay? Now, let's start learning about her history, okay? The 36-year-old American musician grew up in a religious family. So, she grew up in this religious family, and usually people who are strictly religious, well, they're not into music all that much, unless it's music that they listen to at church. Yes, if you're religious, you probably go to church quite a lot. Okay, you follow religion, like some people are Christian in the United States. They go to a Christian church and they follow those rules that Christianity has for people. If people are very religious, they go to church a lot, they follow a religion, and they do so strictly. They're very serious about it. Yes, religion is the noun, religious is the adjective. Anyways, for example, my parents are very religious, but I am not.
Oh, okay, so the parents might go to church every day or pray every day, but for the kids, not so much. All right, so her parents were very religious, and as you say, in religious homes, sometimes pop music with songs about love and stuff like that might be seen as, a little bit dangerous, but she and her siblings weren't allowed to listen to non-Christian music at home. So Perry discovered pop music by listening to her friends' CDs.
Ooh.
Yeah, her parents were very religious, and like I said, they weren't allowed to listen to pop music at home.
And now there's more. She began singing in church at the age of 9, and for her 13th birthday, she received her first guitar. So she was listening to music, and she was performing. Naturally, she came from a religious household, so it makes sense that she performed at church. Sang there, and later on she moved on to playing the guitar.
Yeah, music can be a big part of a church service.
It usually is.
If you're a young person and you're into music, that might be one of the first places you perform. I know Whitney Houston, think she performed for the first time in church as well. So yeah, that was one thing to do, but a different style of music, but still, that's how she got her first taste of performing, and she loved it. Writing and performing her own songs, Perry began thinking about a career in music, maybe in Christian music or pop music or whatever, but she knew she didn't really want to be a doctor or an airplane pilot or something like that. She wanted to be a singer, a musician. She wanted a career, a life, a future in music.
There you go.
We'll find out about it after the break.
Katy Perry 生长在一个信仰虔诚的家庭，她和兄弟姐妹在家里都不能听非基督教的音乐，她是透过听朋友的 CD 才发现流行乐的。好，那么单字 religious 是形容词，形容虔诚的、宗教的。它的名词是 religion 就表示宗教。好，那文中用到 non-Christian， 它是指非基督教的，其中这个字首 non 就表示不或是非。Christian 是形容基督教的。好，如果我们在 Christian 的后面加上 ity， 就会变成一个名词 Christianity， 就是指基督教。好，那么 Katy Perry 她9岁的时候开始在教堂唱歌，13岁拿到第一把吉他。那在她尝试创作还有演唱自己的歌曲之后，她就开始考虑从事音乐事业了。我们接着回到课文中。
Katy Perry, Life, Love, and Music. At 17, Perry released her first album, a selection of gospel songs that only sold around 200 copies. Disappointed by its lack of success, she decided to focus on pop and moved to Los Angeles. The following years were difficult, and Perry had trouble finding a record company that would take her on. But she kept the faith. Finally, in 2007, Perry signed with Capitol Records and her career began to take flight.
And we're back. More on Katy Perry and where she came from. At 17, Perry released her first album, a selection of gospel songs that only sold around 200 copies. So she started singing at age 9 in church, started playing the guitar. Then at 17, she thought, you know what? I'm going to put out an album. It contained gospel songs, church songs, religious songs. But you know what? It didn't really sell all that well. She only sold around 200 copies. It went nowhere near, platinum success or gold success or anything like that. 200 copies, that's it.
No. 2 million copies, now that would be a big hit, but 200 copies, not such a big hit. But again, she was very young, and of course, gospel songs. This is Christian music, some music that people who are religious might listen to, but not the kind of thing you'd hear on the radio very much. But anyway, she continued on. She said, disappointed by its lack of success, she decided to focus on pop and moved to Los Angeles. You can have a great career as a gospel singer or something like that, but of course your audience would be much smaller. You know, the amount of money and the size of the shows would be much less. So she really wanted to be big and famous and on top of the charts. So she focused on pop music and she moved to the capital of show business in America, Los Angeles, or LA as most people would call it.
And again, she's on the top of the pop world now, but it wasn't hard. It was quite hard for her to get there. It wasn't easy for her to get there. So she moved to Los Angeles, and she did not hit it big immediately. It says the following years were difficult, were hard, were tough, and Perry had trouble finding a record company that would take her on. But she stuck with it.
That's right. A pretty young girl who can sing and dance and wants to be the next Madonna or Britney Spears. Get in line. This is LA. There's thousands of people. A handsome young guy who wants to be the next Keanu Reeves or Brad Pitt. Get in line. There's a million of those guys. But like many people who make it to the top, she didn't quit. She didn't give up. She kept fighting. She kept the faith. That's what it says. But she kept the faith. And when you keep the faith, well, faith is basically your belief in something because you just believe it. All the facts might be against you. You don't want to hear someone say, there's a million young guys who want to be an actor out there. No, I believe I'm special. Why? Because I believe I'm special. That's basically what it is. That's what faith is. People will have faith in a God even though they can't see or touch it. They might have faith in their friends even if they've never really asked their friends, will you never lie to me? I believe they won't because they're my friends. I have faith. This is something I believe very strongly, even though the facts might be a little different. Having faith, that doesn't bother you. Because of the way it handled the crisis, many people's faith in the government has been shaken.
Anyways, finally, in 2007, Perry, she was able to find a record company. Perry signed with Capitol Records, and her career began to take flight.
She kept the faith.
It wasn't easy, but hey, after a while, she started to become successful. Her career took flight. All right, folks. That's it for today's lesson, but don't go away. We'll have more on Katy Perry next time. See you then.
Katy Perry 在17岁的时候发行第一张专辑，那是一张福音歌曲的选集，只卖了大约200张。好，那么 Gospel 是指福音音乐的意思。老师们就聊到说，200张跟白金唱片差多了，老师们就用到 Platinum 这个字。Platinum 可以指白金或是白金唱片，那么白金唱片代表的销售数量在各国都有所不同啦。好，那么还有老师用到 nowhere near， 就是指跟什么差距甚远，远不及怎么样，一点也不怎么样。好，那么课文就接着提到说 Katy Perry 她决定要专注在流行乐，并且搬到洛杉矶。那么接下来几年很艰难，她找不到要雇佣她的唱片公司，可是她还是保持着信念，总算在2007年顺利跟唱片公司签约，事业开始起飞。好，那么单字 faith 就是指信心或是信任，是名词。那我们最后来看2个重点，第一个have trouble 加上动词 ing， 它表示对什么什么有困难，做某事有困难。那么 trouble 也可以换成 difficulty 或者是 problems 等等。例如 She's had trouble sleeping lately， 她最近很难入睡，有睡眠的问题。那么第2个重点是要教 take on 的用法。第一个是我们可以用 take somebody on 来表达雇用某人，像是 They agreed to take him on as an assistant， 他们同意雇用他来做助理。第2个用法是 take on something， 可以表达接下，像是接下某个工作啊、角色、责任或是挑战等等。例如Do you think he's ready to take on such a huge responsibility？ 你觉得他准备好要承担接下这么大的责任了吗？好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学们别走开，马上回来哦。
Hello， 各位同学，大家好，我是季安老师。我们今天带大家做一点点练习要练习的是什么呢？就是这个遇到困难的时候要听哪些关键字负面的字汇。OK， 我们看一下 What is the woman having problems doing？ 她做什么事情产生困难了 ？A. Finding a button, making links with people， 跟人连结。C. Connecting to the internet， 联网。最后 finding the way to a location， 找到一个地点好，那我们来看一下。
Peekatech, Customer Assistance Center, Jim speaking. How can I help you?
Hello there. I'm having a problem with my router. I keep losing my connection.
到这边应该就出来了哈。
Now it seems to have completely disappeared.
Have you tried resetting it and waiting a couple of minutes? That often does the trick. You'll need to stick a pin or a thin object in the little hole on the back.
Okay, can you hold the line while I go and grab one?
Question. What is the woman having problems doing?
Alright， 所以它答案是哪一个嘞？大家应该要选出来哈。答案是 C， 没有错，是 C 那我们来听一下。
Peekatech, Customer Assistance Center, Jim speaking. How can I help you?
How can I help you? 它是什么 Service Center? How can I help you?
Hello there. I'm having a problem with my router.
I'm having a problem with my router. 你听到这边的时候，如果你知道 router 这个字 ，router 是这个路由器有问题，那路由器有问题就没有办法干嘛？连上网路 ，alright？
I keep losing my connection.
你看他下一句，他说 I keep losing my connection. 我的这个讯号呢一直消失。I keep losing my connection. OK，there you have it. 这样应该就出现答案哈。
Now it seems to have completely disappeared.
Now it seems to be completely disappeared. 所以这个答案是 connecting to the internet. 希望你有答对。OK， 好，那你看这边I keep losing my connection now. It seems to have completely disappeared. 整个都消失了。好，他说 Have you tried resetting it and waiting for a couple of minutes? That often does the trick. 通常呢，你只要重设就好了，就是重新开机就 OK 了。You need to stick a pin or thin object in a little hole on the back. 后面呢，就是有一个小小的洞，你要用这个 pin， 就是大头针把它给刺一下，就是按下去这样。Or thin object， 一个细细小小的东西啊。OK， 好，那这边应该就没有太大的问题了哈。注意一下这个拼法哈 ，router 这个字你如果没有去背的话也没关系，你要认得它，听懂它，这样就好了哈。OK， 它其实也不难啊，它就是路线这个字嘛，对不对 ？route， 然后加个 r， 这样而已。OK，router。以上是我们今天的课程内容，我是季安老师，我们下堂课见，拜拜。
See you next time.